From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us on your MTN Statewide News on your Friday. I'm Jeanelle Slade. Well, Montana heads into the weekend with a total of 46 confirmed COVID-related deaths. The latest, a resident in Glacier County. Now, that death plus a death in Lake County are the first victims in that area. And last night, another resident of the Canyon Creek Memory Care Facility in Billings lost his battle. Where now 15 residents have died since June 6th. Now we're learning more about Canyon Creek Memory Care's licensing with the state of Montana. The facility was most recently inspected for renewal in 2019 and was given a 3-year license set to expire in April 2022. A spokesperson for Montana Department of Health and Human Services says when it comes to complaints regarding a facility, the state will opt for an added inspection. However, he did not specify if there were any recent or pending complaints as this outbreak continues. We've also tracked inspection complaints from this facility since it opened in 2013. That information is online on your MTN website. Well, a partnership between Montana State University and the state to expand surveillance testing is moving forward. MTN's Annie Johnson has more details on what it will look like and who gets tested.
In Wednesday's press conference, Governor Bullock announced a partnership with MSU that would perform surveillance COVID testing for residents here in Montana. But you may be wondering, what is surveillance COVID testing?
This is a statewide effort, so we will be the Sentinel surveillance test site for the entire state. And that's why it's going to be so important for DPHHS to help prioritize what samples get sent to us. They're going to aim for 500 per day at the start, and then we're hoping to scale that very quickly to 2,000 tests per day.
The Department of Public Health and Social Services will select groups of people who may not be showing any symptoms and test them individually to make sure the virus isn't unknowingly within the group.
We're going to be able to help with the law enforcement testing, the healthcare services testing, what's going to be needed for K-12 in the university. So those asymptomatic participants who we need to get ahead of the curve on so that we can have a good strategy moving forward for this fall.
But this isn't like other COVID tests. You don't volunteer individually to get tested.
Who gets tested is going to be prioritized by the Department of Public Health and Human Services. And then we'll get those nasal swabs and we'll be able to run them to see if they have COVID.
And you might wonder if an increase in testing will mean an increase in positive cases for the state.
These individuals that we're going to be testing at the Montana State University Laboratory are in all likelihood going to come up negative. We're expecting a very low number, but once those individuals, if we do detect an individual that is positive, they will then have an official test done through the CLIA certified labs at the state level in Helena.
Testing will begin Monday and go as long as needed. Reporting at Montana State University, Annie Johnson, MTN News.
Thanks so much, Annie. Now, the number of known coronavirus cases in the U.S. since the pandemic began has crossed the 4 million mark. Worldwide, the U.S. by far has the most reported cases, followed by Brazil, India, and Russia. Cases are now surging in many states, including along the U.S. Gulf Coast in Mississippi, Louisiana, and Alabama. President Trump is canceling part of the GOP convention. He announced all Republican convention activities in Jacksonville, Florida, are called off. The president said it is not the right time to have a big convention. Jacksonville's sheriff recently said there weren't enough officers, time, or money to keep everyone safe for the convention. GOP events in Charlotte, North Carolina are still in the works. Well, it's now time to check in on the weather scene. Good afternoon, Rob, and it is looking like a pretty nice day.
Well,
and weekend.
Jeanelle, seems how you have spoken into existence. I can all but just echo that. Yeah, it looks like a pretty nice day, and we're on our way to a pretty nice weekend, too. Let me show you what's on the board right now. We've got a range of 70s into 80s, no 90s popping up yet, but Glasgow and Jordan aren't that far away from it. Still 71 in Butte, 70 degrees over in Dillon, and you notice the only shower activity in eastern Wyoming moving up into southeastern Montana. Winds also starting to pick up from the Front Range of the Rockies and Glacier Country, 31-mile-an-hour gusts in Cut Bank. Kalispell a little breezy right now, Havre's a little breezy, Great Falls and Helena all recording some wind gusts, as is the case for Glasgow, and it's that pesky wind that may be causing us some problems. Later on today, a very slight risk of isolated, scattered, severe thunderstorms in eastern Montana. So we'll talk about all that and what the weekend has in store in just a little bit, you know?
All right, thanks, Rob. Well, the body of last weekend's drowning victim near Polson has been recovered. Lake County Sheriff Don Bell says the body of 21-year-old Dayton Conrad of Ronan was recovered from the Flathead River near Buffalo Bridge at around 11 p.m. Dayton's friend reported that Conrad had jumped from the Buffalo Cliffs, was unable to swim to shore, and was last seen being pulled under by the current. Now, according to a news release, Dayton's family has asked the sheriff's office to pass on gratitude to all who assisted. Well, Glacier National Park officials are investigating several suspicious fires in the North Fork area, including one that destroyed a 1928 patrol cabin. A press release states park officials received a report of multiple wildland fires early Thursday morning, which led to a multi-agency response. One of the fires destroyed a 1928 Ford Creek patrol cabin. It's used by rangers for winter patrols. The fires are contained at this time and do not pose a threat, but they are suspicious in nature, and an investigation is underway. So portions of the park are closed at this time. If you were in Glacier Wednesday night or Thursday morning and witnessed any suspicious activity, please call the Glacier tip line. Well, you won't be able to hear the cows, but you will be able to buy them as Ravalli County's 4-H programs adjust to the pandemic. With this year's fair being canceled last week, Bitterroot 4-H leaders are coming up with alternative plans to give kids a chance to sell their animals virtually. This will start around the first part of September. Animals will be featured for a couple of days for prospective buyers to go in, look through the pictures, and find the kids that they're familiar with. Now, details are still being worked out and will be announced soon. Ahead on your statewide noon news, suds are sinking in the world of craft beer. We'll take you inside a local tap room that's trying to stay afloat during the pandemic. But first, Rob Griggs is in next with your statewide weather forecast.